Well, good evening once again. Day 1450 of the Trump administration. 12 days remain until the inauguration of Joe Biden as our 46th president. The effort to stop Donald Trump from doing anything over the next week and a half is gaining momentum inside, even outside the nation's capital. Tonight, the worst fate of all has befallen the president. His cell phone has been rendered mute and ineffective. The man who said he could not have been elected president without Twitter has been tossed off of Twitter. They announced tonight that his account has been suspended permanently, citing the risk of further incitement of violence. The company adds in a statement, plans for future armed protests have already begun proliferating on and off Twitter, including a proposed secondary attack on the U.S. Capitol and state Capitol buildings on January 17, 2021. That's actually an emerging threat. We have two experts standing by later in this hour to brief us on that very threat. It turns out all it took to get Trump banned from Twitter and Facebook and Instagram was his role in inciting the looting and desecration of our U.S. Capitol. Other pro-Trump groups gathered at state houses across the country, threatening state officials along the way. Meanwhile, the momentum is gaining speed to make Trump the first president to be impeached twice. Such a thing would settle any argument about history's worst president. Speaker Nancy Pelosi has thrown down the gauntlet in this area, telling Trump to resign or face a second impeachment or removal via the 25th Amendment. She drew that line in the sand after meeting with her caucus for nearly 4 hours and after talking with Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Mark Milley about making sure steps are in place to keep Trump from launching military hostilities, including but not limited to a nuclear strike. The speaker made the case for action against Trump in an interview with 60 Minutes.
The person who's running the executive branch is a deranged, unhinged, dangerous president of the United States. And only a number of days until we can be protected from him. But he has done something so serious that there should be prosecution against him.
3 House Democrats, members of the Speaker's team, have already drafted the articles of impeachment titled Incitement of Insurrection. NBC News reporting it could be introduced as early as Monday. The wording here includes this, quote, the president threatened the integrity of the democratic system, interfered with the peaceful transition of power, and imperiled a coordinate branch of government. He thereby betrayed his trust as president. The White House had this response today, quote, as President Trump said yesterday, this is a time for healing and unity as one nation. A politically motivated impeachment against a president with 12 days remaining in his term will only serve to further divide our great country. Well, this afternoon, President-elect Joe Biden was asked if he backed this push for impeachment.
I've thought for a long, long time that President Trump wasn't fit to hold the job. That's why I ran. Well, I'm focused on the virus, the vaccine, and economic growth. What the Congress decides to do is for them to decide.
Meanwhile, Republican Senator Ben Sasse of Nebraska, and since this may happen again, let's pause to point out he has been a loyal Trump vote in the U.S. Senate all these years. He now says he's open to looking at impeaching Donald Trump.
The House, if they come together and have a process, I will definitely consider whatever articles they might move. I believe the president has disregarded his oath of office.
Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, now the first Republican senator officially to call on Trump to step down. In an interview with her hometown Anchorage Daily News, she said, quote, I want him to resign. I want him out. He has caused enough damage. He doesn't want to stay there. He only wants to stay there for the title. He only wants to stay there for his ego. She went on to question her own membership in what has become the party of Trump. Meanwhile, with the inauguration just 12 days away, Trump today announced he will not be attending the inauguration. Joe Biden seemed to be fine with that decision.
One of the few things he and I have ever agreed on. It's a good thing him not showing up.
Earlier, you'd said that if you'd hope that he would show up only in the sense that it was valuable to send a signal to the world about the transfer of power. You've clearly changed your perspective on that.
Because he has clearly demonstrated, he's exceeded even my worst notions about him. He's been an embarrassment to the country.
What about the Vice President, Mike Pence?
He's welcome.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.